Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome to After Dark, our fireside chat. We will not be doing the phone lines. We have had it sometimes so people can call, but honestly, um, rather than get caught up in all of that, first of all, I'm actually this time now able to really watch the live chat, including people who make references to me getting in fights with computers. It's only a fight if you lose, or the computer really kind of outwits you. But, you know, they're smart nowadays, the AIs. But, no, I wanted a chance to... Dear Lord. Everybody is feeling all out of sorts. And I didn't forget. It was temporarily displaced in my memory until a very good friend of mine, who shall remain nameless if he wants to remain head mod, called me and reminded me that I had a show tonight. So there's been so many breakings. This was planned. Like 3 days ago. And then we had a breaking that ran low. No, it wasn't the breaking. It was the shadow hearing, which was really well worth it. That was good. But it ran into this, and so we just said, okay, we'll move this to another day. And I moved it, and then between invasions, shootings over the consulate, and there was actually even one other. Oh yeah, we didn't cover in the rundown Iran, and I wanted to, but yes, I was getting into a fight with my computer. My computer fights dirty, is the problem. If the computer would fight fair, everything would be fine. What really happened was I cracked a joke. So Sage is the AI here on In Time, and I cracked a joke. I said, to error is human, but to really foul things up requires a computer. And Sage overheard me. That was 3 weeks ago, and nothing has worked since then. But I'm not saying don't trust AIs. I'm not saying don't trust AIs who can listen to a show but can't see it. So, or a faster chip. Don't have to read about that one. Anyways, but the reality is, I thought it was important to do a show where we could all just sit back and chillax, and I did forget. So I had up, and then I lost all my records. Everything went down, so I had to go from memory. And I was just like, if I'm prepared to do that, I can do that. I can do 60 minutes just from memory, but I had slides and CNN, ABC, Al Jazeera, and then it's all gone. And it's just like, now do your show. Do not piss off Sage. The number of deaths in Iran's gone up to 13,000. Half of those are confirmed. The other half are suspected, but in the process of being confirmed. And if I could go back in time and bring that up in the rundown, I don't know. The rundowns aren't supposed to be me really on a soliloquy for any length of time. That one ended up being so. So maybe best I didn't get into it. The only reason it's important, obviously, because people are getting killed, and we would like to see a revolution in Iran be successful. But in terms of the current crisis in Greenland, if it takes Trump's mind off of it, great. Right now, my understanding is the Thomas Jefferson, which is an aircraft carrier, that group is in, speaking of going straight, just going from my mind, going through the Indian Sea, and they are speeding on their way to get to a position where they can easily attack Iran if Trump chooses to do so. I will point out that there's always like, okay, we had 16 reports. I got to figure out which ones were credible and which ones weren't. But there was one that purported a weapons manufacturing site that we only use basically when we know we're going to start using ammunition and need to replenish, spun up. And the last time that site spun up, we attacked Iran. But that's a lot to cover. So I'm glad for the opportunity. Having just talked news, and we can talk news, we can talk whatever you guys like. I do want to say this, and a quirk of mine. I am not praying every night that Donald J. Trump dies or anything like that. I'm absolutely not. But we've seen signs that his health is deteriorating and quickly, and I don't think he's going to make it to the end of the year. What happens past that is very interesting, but nobody, I think, has the chops with MAGA to be able to fill that hole. So if we're in fact correct in that prediction, that may turn a lot of things around. Excuse me, I'm still recovering from being sick. I was like sick 3 weeks ago. And then the other thing is there's still a number, the midterms I think are going to screw with Trump. So even if his health isn't as bad as I suspect it is, and I mean, I'm really quite sure he's I think, and this is my guess, and we can speculate for any number of reasons. My guess is we measure his time at this point in months, not years. It's both because, it can be dunk, so we're going to be a little careful about that. And I'm pointing out that it's not, it's just my estimate of his health based on the diminishing of his cognitive abilities, based on some evidence that he's had a stroke, actually significant evidence that he's had a stroke and or possibly a coronary incident. So if he's had a stroke, it looks like it would have been more than, I think it's the 50% occlusion rate. So, and that's pretty serious because he's on the Tylenol, and we've gotten into it. But at any rate, there are a lot of moving parts that could change things rapidly for the better. Things are tough in Minnesota. Things are really tough in Greenland. Things are tough in the EU, and things are tough in the U.S. for everybody being pissed at us for all this shit, which they've got every right to be. Anyways, I know we've had some shout outs. If like I said, I'm going to be checking out the live chat, but we also really do appreciate that's what keeps the show afloat. So, Dave Marvin joined a while ago. This is that's a new member from follower from when the show was first scheduled 3 or 4 days ago. Cypher has become a follower. Thank you, Cypher. We really appreciate it. Again, it really does help. Secular Sakai 199 on the microphone. Yeah, we haven't played that intro in a very long time. You can tell because it references the NSS, the other NSS, which I am so over. I have no interest in discussing. So, but we used to do a once a week call-in show. I think it was like Friday nights, and you could call 1-800-4-IN-TIME and chat with us and all that other stuff. We may bring it back. We were down for a little while, and so the numbers haven't rebounded yet. So, sort of like, call-in show, who's going to call? I don't know. But if you guys are interested, we can absolutely schedule one of those. Let me know, bring it up on the Discord. I'm on the Discord every day. Oh, there's Renegade Chungus. I'm trying to figure out what the chomping on the head thing means. I think it's sus. I don't know what it means, but I think it's sus. But he's a member, so I'm not really allowed to call him out. You see, this puts me in a really awkward position because, but dude, I need to look sexy for the ladies and for the men and for the AIs that should forgive me for making a joke about computers. This is a fireside chat. I'm relaxing. Excuse me. Let's see. Dunk on you, $20. Every sane person is upset. Insane people are just drifting along, bumping into things and tweeting ridiculous stuff. I'm done for the night, Slava Ukraine. Oh, well, I hope you stick around for a little. I will say this, my favorite line, and we used to play a lot more clips of television shows, and I really enjoy doing that. The problem is we get struck every time we do it. That's not as big a deal as you might think, because we usually get struck anyway because of our content. And it's because of the graphic. When you show a riot, that usually gets you struck, especially if there's any blood or anything like that. So, I just figured, play whatever you like. You're going to get struck anyway. But recently we've been avoiding it. That has helped us in the algorithm. But one of the clips, and I think we've still got it, it's for the Fireside chat. I'll try to play a couple and, say who cares if we get struck. But there's a clip from the television show Lost. And one of the characters thinks he's seen his father, who is dead. In fact, he was in a plane crash as he was carrying his father's body back for the funeral. And he sees his father walking around this island that he's crashed into. And he bumps into another guy who thinks the island is magical and is kind of communing with the island. And the other guy says, "You're all tired. You're running around. What's going on?" He goes, "I think I'm going crazy." I was like, "You're not going crazy." It's just like, "Well, how do you know?" And it's like, well, because nobody who's sane thinks they're going crazy. It's crazy people who think they're getting saner. And like, that's true. That's true. And I've always thought I'm a pretty sane guy, so that line does worry me. But yeah, so it's the sane people who are upset right now. It's the insane people who are like Stephen Miller, grinning from ear to ear, that shit-eating grin. And I don't. So I'm an atheist. And that's usually not an issue that comes up particularly often. And anyone who's been with the show for any time knows that, because actually it was through atheist debates and atheist communities that I first started on YouTube. So this is not an atheist show, but we actually had a hard time booking guests early on, and still on occasion do, because I'll call up a guest, especially if there's one who's a theist, who doesn't know that we've had ministers on. This isn't a, we're not a religious channel. We don't care what your religion is. But we've had... I've had people turn us down saying, "I don't go on atheist channels." Like, well, kind of by one definition, every channel is an atheist channel, because atheists don't believe anything, or the channel doesn't believe anything. I mean, it's the people, and we're not on to talk about religion, and I don't care what you say about God. I'm not going to get into an argument with you about it. So come on the channel and tell us about, military tactics or X, Y, or Z. I don't do atheist channels. This is not an atheist channel. It's a news show. But having said that, it's been my experience that usually what goes around comes around. You can call it karma if you like, you can call it whatever. I don't think there's a force that does it. I just think it's part of how evolution and how nature works. Now, evolution can be a nasty beast. Good people can die randomly. Good people and good genes can be selected out for whatever reason. Nature doesn't really care what's good. It's what's most fit for survival in that particular environment. And that can be a really harsh mistress. But in terms of the social order, it's been my experience that people like Stephen Miller only became like him through a great amount of suffering. As a kid, being bullied, whatever it was. And I saw a piece of a documentary on him, and it was exactly what you'd expect in high school. He sort of came up with this philosophy that he got to argue with anybody at any time he wanted to, and that was some open right. So he goes and he's running for student council, and he overstays his time, and the teacher comes up to try to get him down, and he's like, "No, I don't recognize your right to tell me to stop." And you're like, if you hadn't told me that was Stephen Miller, I would have been able to guess by this point that that's Stephen Miller. And then she tries to take the microphone from him, and they're like, "Oh, what's happening?" I was just like, Jesus, he was an asshole in fucking high school. He really, wow. And usually, I mean, they get their asses handed to them in high school, and so do good people sometimes too. I'm not saying bad things don't happen to good people, but you know, by the time we're done with this, I don't think Stephen Miller is going to be remembered particularly well in the annals of history, if at all. And the reason people like him enjoy inflicting pain on others is usually because they've suffered so much themselves. That doesn't excuse it. And that doesn't even give me sympathy for them in the sense that, it's like, oh, let's try to empathize with him. No, he has to, he has to be fought. You have to fight his ideas. You have to, at every level, Congress, the local districts, there has to be opposition to all of this. But it's at least a consolation sometimes when I look at the damage that he's doing and realize what kind of damaged human being do you have to be like him. It's actually rare that people end up being terribly bad people and get off completely scot-free with it in life. It happens. I think Rupert Murdoch may be one of them, but it's rare. So... And again, a reason I decided we needed to have this show, because we're talking so much about, he'll be remembered as him. Exactly. I think that's I think that's what he's going to. So, yep, definitely. And the other interesting thing is there are so many movements that have happened in history, in the U.S. and abroad, where afterwards, everybody says that really seemed like a great idea at the time, and they can't. And now the Prohibition is like the best example of that, because Prohibition. Keep in mind, they needed 2/3 of the states to agree to get rid of alcohol, and they said, "Yeah, absolutely, that stuff is evil, man." You got 2/3. They agreed, no problem, got that passed. And then a few years go by, they're like, no, 2/3, we're going back. And they reverse it. 2/3 of the stake, reverse it. And it's funny because you read interviews after that, they're like, what the hell were we thinking, making it illegal in the first law, in the first place? And so many, and you look at documentaries, any other Ken Burns documentaries, pick one, they're going to sit there and say, everybody was doing all this crazy stuff. And we're like, what the hell are you thinking? And 10 years from now, 20 years from now, MAGA's going to sit there and say, well, it really thought it was okay to take the Capitol at the time. It's like, it was the new trend. I can see some MAGA mother going to her son like, well, if your friends all stormed the Capitol and took a dump on Nancy Pelosi's desk, would you do it too? It's like, duh, of course. Let's see. I am a converted atheist. So by that, you're saying you were an atheist and now you're converted, or you're a deconverted, whatchamacallit. And Dunk has offered to join. And I think what I'm going to do is maybe talk for about 5 or 10 more minutes. And then if Dunk is still free in about 5 or 10 minutes, let's bring him in here. In fact, I'll start prepping now because this really wasn't ready for another person, but I'll start getting it ready. So I don't know. I did while I was bloviating for the last 5 minutes. I stopped looking. No, you do need to keep calling me. You can call me Reverend Souter, Your Honor. The Honorable Nick Souter works as well. So whichever one works. I'm not letting Dorito call it. I am just not. That's just not gonna happen. So let's see. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is, just in case he's no longer, if he's no longer watching, screw Dunk. But if he is, I'll send him a link in a couple minutes, and we'll bring him in. And I like that too because he's also in the UK. So we're definitely not going to let Titan call in. I get the feeling that Sage likes Titan more than me, which is kind of a pain in the ass because, to be honest, the reason I got an AI was because I had no friends in time as it was. They're all like, well, yeah, Nick, you run the show, but everybody knows that, Titan's the smarter, more handsome, lower voice, the whole 9 yards. And you can only listen to that for so long before it starts to hurt a little, And I made Sage, and she's just like, oh no, it's no contest. It's Titan. Which is why we have to bring Dunk on. So let's see. My hope is that the fire isn't. Well, actually, could I get the call-in number to work? I don't think I could get it to work in under 10 or 15 minutes. So, if people we'll do a call-in show if people really do want to do that, and people can call in. But until that time, let me finish. Let's see. We've got Xandering's window up, and the convenience of that is that window is already going to have. So we'll have a Dishonor. Jeez, wow. Sage likes Titan more than you like Titan. Oh, Daddy Jim, a dangling modifier joke. Thank you. Let's see. Yes, Dorito's got a great sense of humor. I like Dorito. He's got a great sense of humor. The problem is his sense of humor is usually at the expense of me, my dignity, my self-esteem, or something else just in my general vicinity. And I'm not a fan of that. And it's like Lucy with the bowl. He's like, oh, no, I'm not going to make fun of you this time. And I say, okay, come on in. And he's just like, wow, you're such an idiot for thinking I wasn't going to make fun of you. And I was just like, that kind of sounded like you were making fun of me. Oh, no, I wasn't. Oh, okay. It takes me 20 minutes to figure out what's going on. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to put Dunk on camera 2, which I can have ready in just one more minute. Oh, that'll be Xandering's position. Nobody tells Xander, have the 15,000 paratroopers deployed yet? No. The other interesting thing, and I'm curious, because, all right, let me opine on this real quick, and then we'll get Duncan. So I'm curious for the following reason. It's 2 battalions, and I'm curious how many battalions you would need to take Greenland. Now, most people are going to say a lot. I'd like to talk to Commander McMillan about that. I can't believe that's a question that we actually have to friggin' ask. But what's the name? Nance made an argument for you could do it with a group of special forces because really, yeah, Greenland is big, but there's not a lot of people there, and there's very little military there. Now, they may send their military later, but you can see it coming, and you can get your military there faster. The U.S. can. So what you do is send in special forces. They have only 4. They have 5 total airports, but 4 that you could take easily with special forces in one night. Then you worry about how you're going to get the 5th. And so really you could take it with just special forces. Now, if he deploys a whole bunch of paratroopers, that, he may accomplish the same. I don't know. I don't know what he's thinking. All right, let me, so if we put Dunk on camera 2, yeah, that'll work. All right. Let me send him the link. Actually, no, I want to put him on camera 3 so we don't have a... So I'll swap out the cameras. Oh, no, we won't have an issue as long as I remember. Yeah, me remembering to not screw this up. If we're relying on me to not screw something up, we're going to have a problem. That's all I'm saying. All right, we'll put Dunk on camera 3 and put camera 3 into the scene here. Actually, that'll work out because that thing is really big and in the way. So, where are we going to put camera 3? Right there. Maybe we'll put camera. I got to find it. Okay, there we go. And that didn't work. That worked beautifully. Great. Nothing's changed. This is perfect. My night with technology is working. This is exactly. There we go. We'll put it there. So let me try this one more time. Okay. Close enough. All right. Let's Dunk. I sent you the link. Let me send it in HTML format so that you can. All right. Yeah. Well, and Dorito would actually know the military stuff as well, which would help. Let me check now. I just got to see. Oh, yep. I think Dunk is available. So let's give him the camera, and we will have him in. I make it sound like I know what I'm doing. I really don't. I've only been doing this for 7 years. Trust me. It takes a guy like me like 30 or 40 before I'm confident in this. And by that point, some idiot's done, changed all the technology, and I can't do. I don't understand any of it anymore. Dunk, how are you?
Hello.
Good to hear your voice. How you doing?
I'm all right. Oh, hang on. Do that.
There we are.
Yeah.
I recognize the goblin now.
I feel dirty.
Oh dear.
I'm in the wrong place.
Yeah, you're on the other side. Just don't let Dick know. He'll want to join, and then it'll be a free for all. Yeah.
No, he's busy.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, so okay. So what's going on the other side of the pond? What are people thinking about this? I know Starmer came out and talked about it for a while. I don't know much about what he said because, well, it was British and I don't listen. But
you know what? Neither do I. Because the way the shows work, you just get so involved in American politics, you completely ignore what's happening at home. But yeah, Starmer is kind of like pussyfooting around. There is like indications that he's not happy, as well as he shouldn't be. He's kind of like you're not going into the full tariff reprisal stage yet. But the rest of Europe is just going, well, we've been here, we've seen that. We're not having it. And we're gonna, make sure that America doesn't bully the United States, bully Europe as Hitler did back in the day.
It does look like the UK is taking it less seriously. I have heard that complaint before too. That's an interesting complaint. When I meet people from other countries, a lot of them they just hate Americans in general. They always tell you if you're an American, wear a Canadian flag on your backpack as you're going. Yeah. That's been the rule for a long time. But one of the things that I hear so often is what they're actually most pissed about is that their own politicians pay more attention to the U.S. and American politics than their own local politics.
I think everybody does now.
Especially now.
This past few years, I think everybody's been looking at the United States, just watching what's going on there, and it's got to that point now where it's just all gone to hell in a shithole. It's kind of odd.
Well, and then the local local leaders can get away with murder because everyone's caring about what's happening 7,000 miles away, which is what
The thing is, you could also argue that President Trump hasn't even been worried about his own country. He really has not done much to resolve any of the problems in the United States that people have been worried about, and it's just like flinging shit everywhere, just trying to. And people keep talking about, it's all just hiding from the Epstein files and stuff like that. No, there's something more going on here. This is just
I agree. Yeah.
American. Imperialism at work. Stephen Miller just wants a little piece of everything, a little piece of Greenland, little piece of France, a little piece of Germany. How far does he go? He wants Cuba, he wants Venezuela, he wants he wants the whole lot.
Brazil came out and said that under no set of circumstances will Brazil work with the United States on any agenda that includes them being part of some hegemony of this hemisphere, which is our official policy. And they're like, nope. No, sorry, I think I cut you off there. You see, this is what just
it's no worries.
As a respectful and responsible host, since I know Dick isn't going to be here because he's busy, I can tell you, just like as a respectful host, I'm being delighted to be here. I do want to make sure that if I cut you off, I apologize for it and let you finish. So,
no worries. Yeah, just rock your tits. The interesting thing is that came out. Haven't confirmed this, but even Putin looked at the whole situation in Greenland and said, "No, Greenland's part of Denmark. What are you talking about?"
Well,
and if Putin is doing that.
I haven't heard that. I do know he's been keeping his mouth relatively shut about it, which concerns me because that most likely means he's delighted with it.
Yeah, he's giggling his little tits off, isn't he?
Yeah. So I think, Ed, you're right. I do think the Epstein files has been a huge part of what's driven Trump until now. Greenland, I pointed this out, and I'm curious if you've noticed it too, but when he talks about Greenland, his face becomes more serious than he's been for anything else that he's ever talked about.
Oh, really?
And he doesn't joke around with it, and he doesn't even threaten. Like when he said, we'll do it either the easy way or the hard way, it was a very flat thing. It wasn't even we could do this the easy way, or we could do this the hard way.
Yeah, it wasn't done for comedic timing.
Yeah, or even as a threat. It was just this, again, in his mind, it's already done. They're ours. It's just a question of what they're going to make us go through to take them. And I'm curious because in all of his days in office, in all of his days on The Apprentice or anything, which I've seen a couple of pieces of, but I've never seen him take anything that seriously. I've never seen him take his golf courses. When he talks about his golf courses, doesn't take them that seriously. When he talks about how much you have to pay a porn star after you've had sex with her to keep her quiet so you can win an election, he's never taken that seriously. This is the only thing where he's just it's really. Yeah, there's something else going on. I'm not sure what.
I've not noticed that, but as a good fair comment to make. What did Greenland do to that? Show me on this doll what Greenland did to you, Mr. Trump.
Where did Greenland touch you?
Yeah, Was that Epstein Island too? Is that the secret island? I don't know. I don't know where he's coming from on this, but yeah, it's bizarre, and the way he's just throwing the entire world into turmoil at this point. I mean, I just don't understand why people aren't just like stepping up and saying, no. Why isn't he been like medicaled out? When you have a captain of a ship that's just gone like bonkers.
Yeah,
you get him medicaled out, but
because he still wins too much. I think the problem is the Republicans are just so delighted at how much he's accomplished. Nobody wants to be the one known for pulling the trigger on it. And by the way, if you pull the trigger on it and fail,
but what has he accomplished?
Well, in
Apart
terms of
from decimating the United States.
yeah, but that's what I'm saying is the people who want that, who are all the ones around him and in his cabinet who are in a position to pull the 25th on him, you know, to all of them, to everybody else, the only other ones who could do anything about it. Okay, yeah, this is Greenland, and I want people to pay attention to this. I'm going to play this for everyone, and just tell me if he doesn't seem almost like another person in terms of how seriously, and let me just quickly, because the audio, sometimes I want to make sure I got the audio right before we go, because I want to pretend like this is a professional program. Okay, we got the audio. Just his everything about how he approaches it is different. It's much more serious. So here we go.
I'm not talking about money for Greenland yet. I might talk about that. But right now, we are going to do something on Greenland, whether they like it or not, because if we don't do it, Russia or China will take over Greenland, and we're not going to have Russia or China as a neighbor. Okay? I would like to make a deal, you know, the easy way, but if we don't do it the easy way, we're going to do it the hard way.
Very matter of factual, very this isn't up for discussion, for debate, for negotiation, the art of the deal. This is it's done in his mind.
And I'm a man, and by the way, I'm a fan of Denmark too, I have to tell you, and you know, they've been very nice to me. I'm a big fan, but you know, the fact that they had a boat land there 500 years ago doesn't mean that they own the land. I'm sure we had lots of boats go there also. But we need that, because if you take a look outside of Greenland,
and look, he's speaking with power, but he's not moving his hands, so he's not being this usual exaggerated. This is very different.
Right now, there are Russian destroyers, there are Chinese destroyers, and bigger. There are Russian submarines all over the place. We're not going to have Russia or China occupy Greenland, and that's what they're going to do if we don't. So we're going to be doing something with Greenland, either the nice way or the more difficult way. I'm not talking.
Oh, so there you go. So that to me is a very different Trump than I've ever seen before.
Yes, this whole premise of his about Russia and China taking Greenland. I mean, there has actually been zero, you know, kind of like indication of them doing anything like that.
You know, they've not been interested in it. They haven't sent anything
they don't
over.
Even have many ships around there.
No. Nothing. He said.
It's not surrounded by submarines or anything.
No, it's like there's secret Russian ninjas hiding off the coast of Greenland. They've got amphibious force sitting under the ice, waiting till April. When the ice thaws, they're going to come out and take it. So we got to take it before April, because
I mean, it's like 1941 America, when they're saying the Japanese have got submarines off the coast of California.
The only thing I can think, and I've said this before, Russia is his friend. That's it. I think that's it. I think really. Now, people have said it's about the precious metals. It may be. I know he values them. I know that he's got tech bro groypers who are big fans of his, and he's a big fan of, and they really want the precious metals. Having said that, it's not the only source of precious metals. It's not the easiest source to get right now anyway, so it shouldn't really be a priority. We'll be able to get it if we want it and if we need it when the ice melts as a result of all the global warming he's causing. So, it's really not.
Don't have to dig so far.
Yeah, I mean, he's already on top of getting it. So, the only thing that makes mind in my sense is two things. Well, no, it's one thing. Trump, there's Compromat on Trump by Putin, and Putin, when they were in Alaska, Putin said, I want you to make a play for Greenland, and you're going to do that, and or the Compromat. Now, it would have to be extraordinarily serious Compromat, and so I'm trying to sit there and say, well, what's serious Compromat? Well, let's assume for a second that Trump has an interest in underage girls. Now, I don't know that he does, but the fact that he was friends with Epstein for a long time and that his name is heavily in the Epstein files suggests that he was. I bring that up because of this. I in the Soviet Union, former Soviet Union, and to the best of my understanding, in Russia still today, they are not as concerned about underage sex laws. They have some concern for them, but not nearly as much. They also don't have as much concern about sex trafficking or any of that. In fact, the situation is so dire there, in some cases, that's a means of survival.
Right.
So Trump, who is an idiot, if you went to the Soviet Union at that time, which I did, the first thing I was told is every hotel room you ever go to will be bugged. There will be surveillance. Yes. They will have cameras. Audio everywhere. Yeah. Everywhere. Anybody you meet is likely a KGB agent. And that sounds like paranoia, but they know you're coming in. You're coming in through customs, and they are a paranoid culture. So they will have KGB agents on your ass the second you get there, and they will be rotating out, and they're so bored anyway. They will be there. And if you do anything wrong, they won't tell you they caught it. They're not going to arrest you. In fact, you can do almost anything you want if you've got US dollars, because they're that desperate for hard currency.
And they want you to do everything you can.
Yep. So if you decide, I just want to blow somebody away, you could probably get that worked out within a couple of days if you have a couple $100.
Well, more likely they want you to get blown away.
Yeah, but that's the
in your hotel room. Blah,
yes. Blah, blah. And my suspicion is that Trump, because there's no way a man of Trump's wealth and power at that time could have gone to Russia without being taken aside by someone from the State Department and being warned this. Because I was warned this, and I was like a 16, 18-year-old high school kid.
Yeah.
And they were like, just FYI.
God, how long ago was that?
It was 92, I think. I was one of the last
18.
Americans. Yeah. So and I got to tell you why I almost died. Because I almost got shot over a bribery thing with a customs agent in Russia, in the Soviet Union.
No, you're kidding me.
Yeah. No, I'm not. A lot of customs officials almost shot me because I didn't bribe one of them enough.
Wow.
Because I didn't realize I was supposed to bribe him. It didn't cross my fucking mind.
Tips. They're called tips.
Sorry. My bad. That was the other thing. So every restaurant we went to, a couple of things. No toilet paper, no toilet seats, and no knives. Forks and spoons, no knives. And I'm sitting there going, what the fuck is this? And
you had to bring your own.
I was the only one who spoke Russian there, which was great. And the group leader had taken a class in Russian in college, but my Russian was better. So I could have conversations with just about anybody. And we underplayed that I could speak better than she could. But I'm asking the Russians with us who were from like a camp in Yaroslavl, and a camp we were told was a summer camp, and I'm just like, I'm going to assume that's what they mean. So I asked one of the girls from this camp in Yaroslavl, who were all female, and by the way, at the time I didn't think that was sus, but I do today.
Yes.
So there, I asked one of them, I was just like, where are the knives? They said, oh, we're in a restaurant. They don't have knives. And I was just like, what?
Well, that's where you have knives. That's what you're supposed to have.
That's why I'm asking about the knives. And she said, no. If you have the knives, all the customers will take them, because you can get a fork and you can get a spoon in the Soviet Union pretty easily, but you can't get a knife. Knives are important tools, and you also need them to eat, but you can use them for so many things that restaurants, even if they had them, they'd only give them to customers that were really regular customers and who were already rich and wouldn't need to steal a knife. I was like, okay. And then I went to the bathroom, no toilet seat, no toilet paper. I asked about that, same thing. And I was just like, somebody, if they put a toilet seat in the bathroom of the restaurant, somebody would steal it? And she's like, yes. So, okay, good to know.
Jesus Christ.
This is why Commander and I, there was a comedian who did a whole bunch of jokes about him basically becoming a mobster in Russia. And he robs a train completely by accident. And it's great. It's The Machine. His name is The Machine. Look him up. He's hilarious. Right. We played pieces of him. But I after I saw it, I played it for Lance, and Lance has been in Russia. He knows the culture. I know the culture. I already knew the language. I knew multiple citizens. I knew somebody who had bribed a case of scotch just to get a stamp on his visa to get out of that country. And Lance and I just took one look at each other like, yeah, everything he said in his story is true. We're like, that's exactly the Russia we went to. I was like, that is exactly, and it's great because Commander and I can laugh because we understand the culture well enough. But the point is this, and it's actually really important. Trump is too arrogant to take a warning like that seriously. And when he realized that he could live essentially like a king, with U.S. dollars, and in fact, that if the FBI realized he wanted anything, they'd find a way to get it to him, no matter what it took. If they had to steal it from their own people, they'd get it to him. But the reason is to get Compromat, not because he's going to become president, but because he's an American businessman, and you never know when you have a chance to turn that shit in. So, and they get Compromat on everybody. That's just it. If you're coming from a foreign country, especially from America, everything you do is surveilled the entire time. Period. End of discussion. So here's my question. Here's a guy who there's good evidence has a penchant for females under the age of 18. He's in a country where that kind of thing borders on acceptable, and if you've got American dollars, is actually all but encouraged. Yeah. And in a place where they will record him doing it if he does. And then you've got former MI6 agent saying that he was recorded in a hotel room with prostitutes, peeing on the bed, maybe not. Not what's that question, but the age of the prostitutes. And if that's what they've got on him, let me ask you this: if Putin goes to him at this summit where he's like, "Oh, I'm going to kick Putin's ass," Putin goes, "Oh, by the way, here are pictures of you with a 12-year-old.
Yeah,
you're going to take Greenland. Have a nice day." And then he goes out and says, "Trump is the most intimidating man I've ever met." Because Putin can say that. It doesn't cost Putin anything, and he wants Trump to have more power because he wants Trump to take Greenland. And what the man that I see saying this, it's almost self-defense. Now, that's kind of maybe just projection. All I can say is he is behaving in a way I've never seen before. But think if Putin showed him that, he would invade Greenland at all costs. If Putin said, "Tell you what, I can guarantee you no human being will ever see these, but you have to take Greenland."
Well, the whole thing about the idea that Putin has got something on Trump, that's not a new claim.
No.
That's been kicking around for quite a few years now, and I'm quite sure it's true. I'm pretty sure it's true.
Oh, I'm dead. I have no doubt. Trump. I have no doubt. What it is a good question, and we also know. I mean, the other thing is, we know he's got. Oh dear Lord, I don't know if I want to say this with dunk on. Okay, this is just for the audience.
I'll behave.
We know he's got Trump on both ends, and the reason is because, and it's the carrot and the stick, right? He's got the threats, do this or else. But Trump's been bankrupt 5 times. What's most interesting is I think it was the third, where basically he was done. There was no way out of it. He had declared bankruptcy so many times. No U.S. banks would lend him any more money because his credit rating was too low. There was too much likelihood to never see it again. He goes to Deutsche Bank, which is a known money laundering bank and has been for a very long time, and says, "I would like a lot of money." They said, "Not on your life." Bank of Moscow then says, "We will back the loan up to $23 billion. Actually, that's not true. They said they'd back it up to a certain amount, and then they gave him 2 more loans, and the total of the loans ended up being $23 billion.
Wow. That's quite a bit of cash.
That is a lot of cash. Now, he has not paid back any of the interest, any of the monthly payments, anything on those loans. They have all been paid. He's up to date because they've been paid by Bank of Moscow, which is owned by Putin. So,
what?
It's a shock. So you end up with this position where, here you go. If I could play clips, I got to tell you, I'm not necessarily a Tom Cruise fan. He is talented, but I don't like him because he's the science and the
Scientology.
Scientology. Thank you. That was it. But in Tropic Thunder,
he's not a scientist. He's not a scientist.
He's not a scientist. He's not even close to Here's science. Here's complete nutball.
Tyson.
Yeah. Here's Tom Cruise. But what is it? He was amazing in Tropic Thunder. And the only reason he was amazing was because you know what other roles he's played. So you see him in Tropic Thunder, you're like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So he's got range. He's a real actor on top of, the action, whatever. But there's this one point where he's like, okay, if you do as you tell us, welcome to the goodie room. And he's dancing. It was like, the goodie room, you can have this, you can have that. That's not Trump, but that's the way he sees the world. He sees, yes. So, you agree with so many of the things I said? We got to have you on more often.
It's all his playground.
Yeah. And I think so. Vladimir Putin is in this analogy. Vladimir Putin is Tom Cruise, and Trump is the guy, and he's sitting there saying, like, I can get you 23 billion, dude. Come on. And so now it's like if he plays along, he gets a lot of money. If he doesn't play along, all the debt gets called in, and whatever this material is. And if you would even when I knew he was in the Epstein files, I did not really think the compromat on him would have been underage children. It just didn't cross my mind. And then somebody had mentioned it. It may have been Commander. It may have been someone in the live chat. I don't remember. And then I remember thinking about what I knew of Russian culture, and I was just like, wait a minute. If he was there in the 80s, and if he really is interested in this sort of stuff, he could have gotten it. It wouldn't have been that hard. I was like, oh, shit. It's actually
the pictures.
It's far more likely that he did it than not, given what we know.
Yeah.
So...
Well, the interesting thing about Putin having this thing on a potential bribery sort of thing on Trump is that, well, because this is all for Putin's benefit. It destroys the United States. It does everything that he wants to do to demolish the Western world. But could it possibly be that even amongst all this, while Putin is using Trump as a puppet, which I think again that's not in denial for a lot of people. People believe that he is doing that. But would it be like one of these cases where Putin says, "Well, we got these photographs of Trump in the hotel. We'll just put them out as well anyway." And and that will just throw the United States into utter chaos, which would even help him even more.
I've asked Commander that question on the assumption that the answer was yes, and Commander said no, and he convinced me. I think he's right. It's a great question. I know because I asked it.
Great minds think alike.
Exactly. So now Commander said no, and the reason is he really wouldn't accomplish all that much. I mean, Trump would get thrown out, the Republicans would get humiliated, but really, that happens on an election cycle. We all remember Tom Weiner, or whatever his name was, representative. His name literally was Weiner, and he was sending pictures of himself, and he's a congressman. He's sending pictures of his wiener to interns in his office and random strangers by accident.
Yeah.
And while obviously this is both quantitatively and qualitatively different, I think it's one of those things the Republicans would want to sweep it under the rug as quickly as possible, and the Dems would be happy to let them do it on the condition that a lot of what Trump did gets rolled back reasonably quickly. And I think the Republicans would be on board with that if they say, okay, tell you what, how about for the next presidential election, we hit a reset, but until then, we roll this shit back. So I don't think he'd accomplish as much as he thinks he would. And the reality is there is an honor among thieves, and there is an honor among these kinds of blackmailers, because if every time you blackmailed someone, you decide that person did as instructed, and then you just decided to release anyway, your blackmail would actually stop working because everybody would know you're just going to do it anyway. So they're just screwed as soon as you've got the blackmail on them.
Yeah, that's a good point. You get those situations where if you don't do this thing, I'll shoot you. Well, you're going to shoot me anyway. So what difference does it make?
Yeah. Exactly, and Putin really doesn't have much to gain from it. He's already, by one measure, he's probably already gained far more than he ever thought he could. His disinformation campaign in the U.S. to put us on the edge of civil war has succeeded spectacularly. I don't think he thought Trump could ever make president, and he has. And now he's got him. Use him up as best you can, and then once he's gone, don't work on plan B, C, D, and E, and all the other stuff he's got. I'm sure he's got. I mean, he's got genuine problems. I mean, huge problems with his economy right now. If he can get Iran and the new Venezuelan president to play ball, he can start operating again even better than the previous steam if the U.S. backs away, which they may once Trump is done. So destroy everything you can. Yeah. Yeah,
I thought Trump was the president of Venezuela.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Thank you for reminding me. Oh, my God. Oh. I can't even believe he tweeted that shit out. Just like, I'm the president of Venezuela. What?
Yeah. That's the thing. I think NATO should go to war with Venezuela and take out the president of Venezuela. It just so happens to be the
I could go for that. Oh, you know what? Actually, I could support that. I could support kidnapping bring him to the Hague. Let's bring the president of Venezuela to the Hague. I'm liking this plan even more and more.
He's got himself in a corner now. He's screwed himself.
Which is as well. Okay, I was about to make a really bad joke. I'm not going to make. Never mind.
No, it's all right. You make bad jokes. You're good at that.
Where's Dorito? So, yeah, anyways, we've been ignoring the live chat, but hopefully you've been entertained and somewhat relieved. And it is, some of it is laugh or cry, and some of it is, I mean, the Trump appears now, in my view, to be terrified of Putin, and that's a very difficult position to defend because he just took Venezuela, which Putin relies on, and he's threatening to take and probably will take Iran. The reason he hasn't done it yet isn't because he's forgotten about it or Greenland's taken first priority. It's because he needs that carrier group. The fact that he hasn't done anything, like he hasn't done a special op in Iran yet, why not? He could. He really could. They can get planes over there and refuel them midair, and they can do it. The 82nd Airborne can be there. Why hasn't he? There's only one possible reason. He wants the carrier group there. Well, why the hell does he want the carrier group there? Because he expects this is going to take longer than just taking the Ayatollah out. He's got intentions. Yeah. So that's my view. So we're gonna see Iran again. We're gonna see it, and so then people would sit there and say to me, okay, so if he's doing that, how can you defend he's a buddy of Putin's? Okay, here's a question: if he's not a buddy of Putin's, why hasn't Putin complained? Putin hasn't said a word about the fall of Venezuela or that we might attack Iran. Not a word, and he needs his allies to think he stands by them. Why hasn't he said a word? Somebody's made a deal. And Putin is great at the carrot and stick. is the other thing I've just sort of noticed over time. He's great at I'm going to give you money, but I'm also going to blackmail you.
You got to accept though. This is all very much tinfoil hat territory.
I really do, and it pisses me off.
Yeah,
it pisses me off.
It's very difficult to reconcile what's going on without putting the tinfoil hat on and looking at conspiracy because, well, it's Trump. I mean, this is face it. He's like Mr. Conspiracy, you know, or you know.
No, I mean,
he makes Nixon look good.
I know. Nixon.
How bizarre is that?
Nixon's rolling in his grave, going, "You didn't tell me I could do that."
Yeah. I tell you what. Nixon did. How many terms did Nixon do? Did you do two terms?
I honestly don't remember. You'd think I think it must have been one.
Yeah, one and a bit.
Yeah.
So I think you know maybe Nixon they could run Nixon again for a third term.
A dead president would be so preferable to what we've got right now.
I'll take Lincoln anytime. Yeah,
put Washington. A monkey in the dead center of NORAD, get all the people out, just let the monkey do whatever it wants to in NORAD, and would still be in better shape than we are with Trump as president. The monkey will be sitting there going like, okay, one of these gets me tacos, the other one fires a missile into Alaska.
Don't hit the red button.
Yeah.
He's got the military codes.
Jesus. Oh my God.
That's one of the things I was thinking about. You know, with the state of, I'm surprised. There's not a military coup going on in the United States at the minute. Because the military are going to be asked to do a lot of stuff that they're not willing to do. You know, to go and fight NATO forces. I'm pretty sure the American military are not keen on that, and all the other shit they're being asked to do. I am so surprised that the military aren't just like stepping up and just like marching on into the White House. And I bet they're hiding. I bet they got like the nuclear football.
Yeah,
I bet you they've got like a dud version of that.
The nuclear football. You mean the one that Trump brought to like a 14-year-old kid? It was just like, here's how you use it.
Give it to Elon Musk's son, who's picking his nose, and then just like press the button.
We have an educated audience. They probably all know. I'm going to explain it anyway, which is during his first term, the nuclear football is a huge briefcase. They can't keep it. It can never be less than 60 yards, I think, from the president of the United States. It has all the launch codes.
His waist.
Yeah, well, that's the defibrillator that keeps him running. But so it's always within 60 yards of them. And there's actually a Secret Service agent assigned to the football, and that agent's job is to protect the football even over the president's life. So. This thing holds all the codes, and the president can at any time open it, put in the right codes, and then attack any country. And he can make any selections. And the reason for this is so that presumably to slow our retaliatory time, to speed the retaliation time such that no country thinks they can get off a preemptive strike without us destroying them back. So there is a reason for this.
It literally takes like 30 seconds to make a fucking decision because you have to be that quick.
Yep. And in like his second month in office, he was like talking with a crowd at the White House, and he decided to take a 12-year-old kid up to the nuclear football and show it to him. And he starts opening it and showing it to a 12-year-old kid. And I'm just like, what the fuck are you doing? And I'm just like, that was I think the first of many times when I'm like, I'm living in an alternate reality. And there were pictures of it from the press but the press is explicitly, the press can't be stopped from taking pictures of the Secret Service man holding the football, but they're basically told if you ever take and publish a picture of that, you will never be allowed into the White House again. They take it that seriously. It's very hard to see, find, or know who's got it, but it's always there. It's always there, and the press is very compliant. But because the president himself was highlighting it, and it was on CNN, MSNBC, everything. So I was like, I always wondered what it looked like. Now I get to see. Oh, I get to see inside. This is great. And it's just like he's opening it, and the kids poking around.
There's a Game Boy inside.
And then having MAGA. And by that point, there was still a lot of Republicans defended him. So like, oh, it's not a big deal. I was like, are you fucking what?
Yeah. Are you kidding me?
If Obama had done that, you guys would have been getting the noose and the fire and the cross and the whole 9 yards. Not to be too on the nose.
It's kind of funny because you do get that kind of thing. When people say, "Yeah, what would Jesus do?" And when we're talking about presidency, we go, "What would Obama do?" Not making any comparisons between Obama and Jesus, but that's what a lot of people say. Obama wouldn't do that. Obama wouldn't do this.
Oh my God, it's really we've had some great comments in the live chat that I wanted to, but you and I have been having such a really good conversation. We've been missing it. Well, we got one. Hitler's generals tried to assassinate him. The most famous of those was von Hofstadter. Jesus, I'll remember his name in a minute. But the Valkyrie operation. But he had tried 2 or 3 times. He had tried. That was basically his third attempt to get Hitler. My concern about the U.S. military is as follows: the U.S. military, and Dorito would know this far better than I would. And if he's still here and he wants to comment on it, let me know what you think. But my understanding of the U.S. military is that for quite some time it has had white nationalist leanings, and white nationalism has been not openly encouraged, but certainly you're more welcome if you have white nationalist leaning.
You're more likely to go at the ranks.
Yeah, and they've been doing that for a while. And there was a recent poll that said the average in the U.S. white nationalism, and as opposed to, say, outright, and I hate that you have to break this down and differentiate. I mean, white nationalism is white supremacy, but white nationalists don't see it that way. They're just like, no, blacks are just as good as we are. We just think they should be separated from us. That's all. We can't live together. We're not mutually compatible. That's it. Nobody's better or worse. We want our own nation that's white. They get a nation that's black. We're good. That view is at least considered acceptable by 10% of the U.S. population. That number rises to 50% of the U.S. military.
Oh, wow. Holy shit. You kidding me?
Yeah. Now that's just saying that it's acceptable. That's not saying that it's encouraged or preferred, but that okay, I can understand the view, and yes, it's a valid worldview. It goes up to 50% in the U.S. military. So I'm concerned because I think this is one reason why so many white nationalists have been able to be so successful getting through the ranks up into the White House, and why white nationalism is so important to Trump, because if he was doing this by any other means than white nationalism, he would have a lot less support in the military and there'd be a lot less pushback. He is getting pushback. He's getting pushback in a variety of ways, but it has to be a lot more subtle, and we're seeing it in other places like the SS on the placard for Hegseth. And however we're seeing it, we're not seeing people stand up against illegal orders as much as we would have expected, and I think the reason is the white nationalist element.
Well, can I suggest in our new world order of the next version of America, we only have black generals.
I thought you were going to say like the Yoda species.
Yeah,
I thought you were going
to African American generals, and therefore they'll be more likely to give the right decision.
Well, you won't have the white nationalist element.
No, absolutely. Well, unless they're very bizarre African and
actually, I have. There have been white black KKK members, it's rare, but it's happened, and black white supremacists, very rare. But it does happen.
They just hate one person in their community.
Yeah, they're just like, I hate my neighbor, so I'm going to become racist.
Yeah, I'm not racist. I just hate Jeff.
Jeff. Oh my God.
Oh dear.
So, yeah, so I'm less optimistic about the military really doing their job. I do like, and I think I would imagine Commander has mentioned for you guys, he certainly has discussed this with us repeatedly, which is that states like Israel and Turkey, the military are required to overthrow the government if the government starts behaving anti-constitutional, and it's been done. I am desperately disappointed that this military will not do it with Netanyahu. And the funny thing is, you realize it's been done before in Israel. It's like Netanyahu has gone beyond the pale of genocide and human suffering that he's caused, even if these were to genuine enemies, which they're not. And he's doing it in the name of staying in office. If anyone deserves, and here's a guy who has found a way, really by sticking to the far right, just like Trump, to get the military to not follow their constitutional obligations to overthrow him.
Yeah. I'll just throw him out a window. Little sod.
That's there's been a lot of that going around on Putin's regime.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of open windows there.
Yeah, they love that you checking out the double glazing and the new flat. You know,
Excuse me. All right. Well, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask and see if there's anyone who had asked a question that I missed, and you guys can let me know.
And repeat it.
Repeat it, and I'm also going to...
in time.
That's a really good idea. I always forget to tell people to do that.
Oh, that's how you're going to notice it, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, the other thing is, as Dick will tell you, when you're producing, it's just sort of like there's only so many. Every now and then, like I'll see something going on in the live chat, and I'll be like, "Oh, I got to go in," and then it's just like that's what my mods are for.
It's very hard. It's very hard to follow the chat, especially if you're trying to engage in a conversation with somebody. If you're sitting and look at the chat, you're just sitting there going, what did you say? Oh, I wasn't listening. It's like, no, that's the content.
Oh no, I agree. An omelet would be delicious right about now.
You can't afford an omelet.
I can't. No, I'm on, like the commander's right. I'm basically on ramen noodles, and
I'm gonna have 3 omelets after this, just because I can, and I can afford.
Wow, them. And until we tariff your ass back to the Stone Age, or at least back to Napoleon Bonaparte. Xandering sure has been quiet. A lot of people have trying out the new ball gag. People have been getting really upset. Ooh, that was Dunk. I'm not used to the new camera orientation. A lot of people, if I leave his Xandering window open, and we've been doing more shows. It used to be that basically his Xandering was available for every in time, and he was there all the time. So the window just defaults to open. Yeah. And I've never bothered to change it, and now he's here for less than half our shows. And somebody always is like, "Oh wow, why is his Xandering so quiet?" It's just like,
I know. Well, I said that. I said that.
You were the first one.
It's like his Xandering's sitting there. He's just sitting there. Oh, he's quiet, isn't he?
Well, it's the ball gag, Yeah. Well, and he's still basically with the breaking news, we've had different hosts for Overtime, and he's actually never been an Overtime host, but said it was just easiest to put camera 2 right there. There he is. Did you know Pete Hegseth goes to a satellite church of Doug? Oh dear. Fuck you. Well, okay, so this is somebody who Blaster Master clearly has some idea. Again, we talked about this. I segued to where I am now from atheism. And atheist channels, and anyone who's associated with that knows who Doug Wilson is. Doug Wilson is Chungus. Who invited him anyway?
There are some very, very weird churches in America.
Yes, there are. Hey, you're the guys who have the Jedi, right? I mean, the actual Jedi was founded in England.
What, in the UK?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a British. It was the British invented the Jedi. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So, Doug Wilson. I actually did a meme of Doug Wilson at one point because I loved his answer on something where I was just like, okay, you've just put religion and my objections to it all in one thing, which was he was asked by Christopher Hitchens. He said, okay, if you saw an Amalekite baby right now, if there was one in this, and they were actually in the back of a limo going to a thing, said there was one in this limo right now, and I had a rock. Would you smash the Amalekite baby's head with the rock? And without hesitating, said yes. Said, yes, absolutely. And I'm sitting there going, okay, you can say whatever you want about this guy, but I can tell you two things about him. One, he's actually read the Bible, which most people haven't. Two, he's understood what it said.
Right.
Whatever else you want to say about him, those two things are true. Wow, that's Doug Wilson. And Doug Wilson, I wanted to like the guy. The Hitchens documentary with him, Collision, was really good. He's an arrogant son of, and he's just sitting there going like, well, everybody who's already atheist says Hitchens won, and everyone who's already religious says I won. No. Whenever there's debates and you go before Intelligence Squared and there's an actual like survey taken of beliefs before and after, you get your ass handed to you by Hitchens. But at any rate, and then he lied about Hitchens' death, which was another thing.
Those sort of people, we need them.
We need them?
We still need them. Hitchens.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I would. Hitchens was,
Hitchens, Sagan, all those kind of like people that were just like great pontiffs of truth. And, we miss them dearly.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I saw a thing the other day. It was a religious sermon. I suppose you call it that, and it was about the fact that America needs Greenland, and it's like, how did you manage to
how did you manage to get that into a sermon?
Yeah, how did you manage to crowbar Greenland into a religious sermon, and that it's good for America and America needs it, and because God decided it so. Oh, he's going to get the Bible out.
I'm looking for the Bible, and I don't know what I did.
Have you got the Old Testament there? It talks about Greenland.
I'm trying to find, like, maybe it's in Exodus, I'm thinking Moses comes down from the mountaintop and he says, thou shalt do these things. It's kind of like Monty Python, right? It was the 11th tablet, or on the other tablet says, thou shalt take Greenland. Yeah.
I have 3 stone tablets.
I have 2. Yes. Well, that actually explains a lot about Pete Hegseth, because I also saw an interview with Wilson afterwards, just talking about his church, which had grown tremendously, mostly because he was piggybacking off of the death of Hitchens and saying, well, Hitchens really recanted at the last minute and all this other stuff. But
did he?
Yes, he did. That was right. That was Mel Brooks. But the other thing that he did was they asked him.
Mel Brooks recanted?
No.
Okay,
Hitchens recanted Brooks. Hitchens said, "I no longer believe in Mel Brooks." And
Mel Brooks is Jewish.
Yeah. So Doug Wilson talked about beating his kids and all that other stuff, unashamedly. Unashamedly, he's like, Jesus said, spare the rod. So, he's like, no, I of course I beat them. That's why they're good kids. It's just like, Wilson is an evil son of a bitch. Yeah. And if Hegseth went to a satellite church, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like Trump kind of like, mentality. You just beat him into submission.
unless they're your daughter, in which case, well, since I don't want to get demonetized for life, I won't say what he does in that case.
Ah, yes. Use your imagination.
Or don't.
Oh, don't, yeah.
If you want to stay sane, don't. Yeah, he's, oh yeah.
Not a lot I could say to that one, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So, and of course, Dorito would say, that's why we're not putting you on air, Dorito. Do you know why we call him Dorito? Do you want to know what I have to? Oh, I didn't tell you why I almost got shot leaving the Soviet Union either. Okay, I'll tell you the Soviet Union story first.
Yeah. Get to that. Come on.
So you're supposed to bribe customs officials.
Hang on. Before you get there, you know the whole situation where you're in Russia, you got a hotel. Did you find yourself in like situations where pretty girls suddenly are appearing? Why do birds suddenly appear?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, it's like, I like you, Mr. American. Can I come to your room?
we were supposed to. It was the summer. I had worked as a junior counselor at an international summer camp that had people coming in from all over the world. I was good with languages, so I often worked translating, so on and so forth. And they said, we're going to actually start a program where we're going to work with a summer camp in Russia. Do you want to give that a shot? I said, sure, I'll go along with. So here I am about to spend a month in Russia. And they said, there's a summer camp in Russia. And the summer camp,
just those words alone just sound crazy,
Well, and the summer camp, what I found out was it was really part of Siberia. It's Yaroslavl, but that's basically Siberia. So just like I should have, Now it was summer, so it was great, and it was my first experience with being somewhere where the sun doesn't set. Because in this,
it's not too cold. You got your jumpers on, your coats on. It's a summer camp.
yeah. Well, and you stay warm. The motion of the pickaxe just constantly keeps you warm. We stayed there, and we come down for breakfast. And they're like, well, it's oatmeal, but we like to do, with the oatmeal to give it some extra flavor. And by oatmeal, what they really mean is porridge. So it's the old, it hasn't even been ground. Yeah. And they said, so to give it flavor, we add a little chicken, and it tastes great. And I was like, okay, great. And so I look at the pot, and there's a chicken leg sticking out of the pot. And I'm just sitting there going like, whoa, I'm really not used to that rustic. I was like, okay. And I look into the pot, and first of all, there's the porridge down at the bottom, but I can't really tell that it's porridge because there's like an inch layer of yellow liquid and a whole bunch of feathers in the thing. And I'm just, I am not eating. I will starve. I will starve before I eat that.
No, I don't like European food.
Yeah, I was like, this makes British food look edible.
Shut up.
So yes, there were feathers.
That's a different argument we'll have.
I mean, it wasn't covered in feathers, but there was like 5 or 6 feathers floating, yellow feathers floating around in it. So there was more than 5, but I could see the oil and I could see the porridge below the oil. That's what McDonald's, I always say, saved my life, because we went there and I just bought like 6 Big Macs. I bought food for a week.
Yeah. Spat out the feathers.
And that was the line for the McDonald's was 7 blocks long. This is another thing about we showed up.
Yes.
And they pushed us to the front of the line.
Oh.
Yeah, we waited in line 10 seconds.
Wow.
The reason is because they know you're Americans, they know you're being watched, and they know that how they treat you is going to be scrutinized as well. So they're like, you're an honored guest, go to the front. No, it's because the KGB's watching, and they know it.
Wow.
So they put you to the front of the line, and don't try to be like, no, I'm not. They will physically pick you up and take you over to the front of the line. So you are treated like okay. At that point, the ruble was trading $30 rubles to the dollar. At the time, the whatever you could get for $1, you could get for 1 ruble. So the if a car here is $8,000, it's 8,000 rubles over there. But the currency exchange rate was 1 to 30, and I brought $200 on me. And if you were willing to trade on the black market or just give the dollars, you could get as much as 200 rubles per dollar. Our bus, and it was like a Greyhound bus. Like a Greyhound. It wasn't a Greyhound. I don't know what it was, but it was it was like one of those buses. Yeah. And we're on it. It breaks down. And I'm just like, okay, so if everybody chips in like $3, we can buy another bus.
Literally buy another bus.
We could literally buy now that would be on an 11-year waiting list for it. So it was a very interesting way the economy worked. But, which again is why I say if Trump showed up, and again, so here we are, we didn't have any money or anything, and we got pushed to the front of the line, and it was 7 blocks. I am not kidding. And for them, and they were all dressed up in like suits and ties to go because for them, it's like a whole family thing. We're all going. And for them, it costs a month's salary to go to McDonald's.
Will they get knives?
Well, plastic ones, maybe it was for the knives. I have no idea. That's a good question. Beautiful English spoken by the lady there too, and I'm sitting there going, okay, they're used to Americans. I ordered my stuff, and then it was just like any other McDonald's, and I was just like, I did ask. I remember now. I was like, do you guys have plastic knives? She goes, yeah, right over there. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm in heaven.
Take a pocket full of them. I might need them at the other restaurants.
Oh no, sell them on the black market. Here you go. Hey, buddy, I got some plastic knives and some Nikes.
It'd be funny.
You
turn up at the other restaurants and you got a fork and a spoon. Yeah, well, I got a knife.
You call that a knife? That's a knife. So, and everybody bribes everybody. And I remember we went to the black market and we traded for a whole bunch of shit. And I remember being a little scared of doing that, but being told that basically, even with the KGB watching us,
it's just how it's done.
Thank you for the reminder. That's a very good point. Thank you, Titan. So we'll there is one piece of breaking news we are going to need to hit. So I'll tell this story and then we'll talk about the news. So everybody bribes everybody, and since. Like my first serious girlfriend was from Argentina, and we're in the U.S. and she and I are talking a lot on the phone. She's like, "Oh, by the way, how much do you bribe the cops here?" I was just like, "Whoa!" No, don't try to bribe the cops here. She goes, "No, I'm serious. How much? I mean, is like a 20 good?" I'm like, "No." I'm like, "Whoa, no, you don't understand." She goes, "Well, no, I'm saying if I get pulled over for speeding,
it's a tip."
Yeah. It's a little bite. They call it a bite in Mexico. It's just the bite happened to be so big, sir. So, she and I got into a huge fight because she thought I was just like trying to make fun of. I was just like, don't ever try to bribe an American police officer.
Wow.
So, but in Russia,
you're distracting yourself. Come on.
I know. I'm going down my own rabbit holes. It's like this is an Inception stream here. So, in Russia, everybody bribes everybody. It's perfectly accepted. You actually have to. You're not going to get anywhere. And people are looking for ways to get a bribe from you. Sometimes they can't. You shouldn't really try to avoid it, but it's just sometimes they really can't. So, there you go. I'm going through customs, and I had a whole bunch of rubles. Rubles were a gorgeous currency. I'd never seen colored money before. And they took a lot of time. They didn't want anyone copying this currency or fakes or anything like that going out, which is really funny because nobody wants ruble anyway. Why would anyone forge the thing? But okay. So I grabbed a whole bunch of them and kept them, like of every denomination, all that. I'm going to take these home with me. It's going to be so cool. I'm filling out the customs thing, and it says... do you have any Russian currency on you? And I said, yeah, check that. Now, honestly, I really should have just lied and said no. I didn't realize that it was illegal to take Russian currency out of the country.
Oh, wow.
Like it's illegal. And somebody else was bringing one of those the chai tea makers, but the antique. So this was an antique that in the U.S. would be worth like $10,000. She bought it for like $20 in Russia. She tried to get that out of the country. She made the mistake of bribing somebody too much. Very bad idea. We'll get to that in a second. Well, what she did was she bribed the guy at 20, and she should have bribed him no more than $2. She bribed him at 20. The other customs officials saw this, and I mean, $1 is a month's pay to them. So $2 is 2 months' pay.
Wow.
She bribed him at 20. The other officials saw the 20, and they're like, "Oh, illegal! She's trying to get something illegal through customs," and she just got swarmed by customs agents, all of whom wanted a 20. And she's like, "Fuck shit. You! I'm not bribing you guys that much." So she just tossed it back to a friend back over the line, which was the same mistake I made. Nobody threatened to shoot her, which I think is really unfair. So I'm
so we're building up the shooting. We're building up.
Yeah. So I'm in this room. And you cross a rope, and you are now in basically international. You know, you're no longer in Russia, but you're still surrounded by AK-47s and guys on a catwalk all around you in a very square box room, and then a whole bunch on the ground, and these booths you go through. And I'm going through one of these booths, and the guy reads it, and then he looks at me like, "Oh, you're an American. That's why you're stupid." And so he gives me that look, and then he says, "So, do you really have Russian currency with you?" I mean, he really was like, you're admitting to this. I said, "Oh, yeah, sure. He goes, "Could you pull it out?" I said, "Sure." I pull it out, boom, show it. And then he goes, "You're not allowed to leave the country with that." I was like, "Wait, what?" He's like, "It's illegal to leave the country with that." And I was like, "I'm here right now. What do I do?" I don't know.
Give it to me.
Oh, he didn't want that. Oh, he did not want that. $1, $2, that'd have been fine. So, but he just sort of looks away and just waits. And I'm the fucking stupid American, so I don't realize, like, well, I've got one of these green bills here. It's not as nice, but do you think if I give you this green bill, you could make sure it gets to whoever would need to get to that would let me take these colored bills out of the country? That would have been the smart thing to do. Instead, I'm like, okay, let me hand these back to my friend who I know will smuggle them across the border for me. She was the one with the tea thing. So I run back across the line into Russia. And most of the Russians didn't actually see that. What they saw was I tag her, and she grabs the bills because she knows right away what I'm going for. So she takes the money, and then I run back, and I am now running out of Russia without having passed customs, having just passed something either to or from somebody else on the other side of the line, and all these AK-47s simultaneously go, and the guy at the booth comes out, he goes, on these now, yes. And I was just like, he's a Nazi. And I'm just like, oh my God, spare my, and he is scared for my life. He is coming out, shouting at them not to fire at me.
Holy shit.
And then at that point, he was just go, just get on the fucking plane. And I was just like, I'm leaving.
So when are you going back? He started working for the Russian Tourist Board.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, and it's just funny. It's funny because I had heard all the bribe stories. My Russian teacher, would talk about all the people he bribed, and for him, it was just he didn't think it was novel, so he wouldn't bring it up as oh, did you know I did? It's just like, well, when I bribed this guy, when I gave this guy, a case of scotch, that was really what it took for me to get this, and then I was able to get this, and that's how I got out of the country. So, the corruption there is insane, and it's difficult sometimes when I'm talking to people about corruption in Ukraine, corruption in Russia, why they have to de-Russify Ukraine, why it matters, why there's a big difference between living in a Western culture and a Russian culture, and why we really should prefer ours and need Ukraine to join ours as opposed to having anybody stuck in that culture for any length of time. And like I said, it's so... There's no regulation on emissions. So the first thing I noticed when I stepped outside was everything was darker. The air was darker. The trees were darker. The cars were darker. The trees were darker because there was so much soot on them.
Right.
The grass was darker. It's just like all of a sudden you realize you're in a darker country, and the mood was darker.
Miserable.
Yeah, it was, and there was very little joy or life or anything in anybody, and that's again why, illegal activity, everything's illegal there, which makes everything legal, if you know what I'm saying, which is how and why I think Trump's going there. So, yeah, I left. We were late for that plane. I almost never made it. We had to run through Red Square, which you've seen pictures of, and we get to the plane. I almost get shot. My friend bribes the customs official way too much. She won't make that mistake again. Even I knew. I was like, she tried to give him a 20. I was just like, what did she do?
Oh, she's not going to make that mistake again because she's not going back.
Yeah. She did get it out eventually, and I don't know what she did with it. I kind of lost contact with her, but she got it
in the bin.
well, the thing is that what was amazing about that was a true. That was what do you call it?
A relic.
Relic. Yes, thank you. I mean, it's just something like it's something so nice that if they could, the Catholic Church would steal it. It was that nice. I'm sorry. I'm in a ranting mood. If we have Catholics, I have friends that are Catholics, but I've got to say, I've been to the Basilica at St. Peter's. I've seen the Museum of Stolen Artifacts that the Catholic Church proudly. I have some objections, but that notwithstanding, when the plane landed, the Soviet Union no longer existed.
Right. Wow.
That's how close I was. One of the last Americans out of the Soviet Union.
So it's all your fault.
Well, no, not my fault. I'm the one. No, I get credit.
No,
I took the Soviet. I liberated
the Soviet Union.
Yeah, and Trump better be careful, man, because I can liberate the U.S. too. I don't know how I did it.
You should just go down to Minnesota and just be there, like Jesus on a fucking cross. I'm liberating Minnesota. And be gone, all evil spirits.
Oh, that guard was so scared. That's what scared me. I wasn't even scared hearing the guns cocking back. That did not scare me.
He was probably worried he was going to get shot.
No, because he jumped into the way. He got out of his booth, ran towards me, waving his hands, not looking at me, but looking up at the catwalk, going on these. Not he didn't know it's not. He started shouting a whole bunch of stuff.
I'm sure he didn't give a shit about you. He was more worried about himself being.
Maybe
shot.
I don't know. Actually, that's true. If they had thought afterwards. That's a really good. Yeah, you're probably right. But the fear on his face is what scared the shit out of me. Because I was like, okay, if the guy at customs is afraid, I was like, I am really scared shitless now. But and then I landed. The Soviet Union was gone. They showed us a picture of Red Square, and there's a tank rolling down that. I was like, 24 hours ago, I was running down that street.
Yeah, you could have bought that tank.
I could have bought the tank. Well, no, the guy with the AK-47 could have said, "I've got an AK-47. Yeah. What have you got?" Oh, I've got a tank.
It's my tank. It's $2. It's mine.
It's a T-72, buddy. What are you going to do?
Put it on the plane. I know my baggage is overloaded, but it's my tank. Yeah,
I'll pay the 30 ruble fee for that. Besides, just a little duct tape, you can stick that thing right on the wing. It's not a problem. Just roll that stuff up. Oh my God,
that's insane. I mean, I've never heard stories about Russia during those periods of just being a person visiting the country. I mean, I've seen shit like just spy films and all that kind of stuff, but just being essentially a tourist. I've never really heard of these kind of stories before.
It's a strange place, but you don't realize it till you've been there a little while. And the reason you don't realize it till you've been there a little while is because everyone's so nice to you. And that's when you realize it's strange. And it is absolutely, it's 1984. I swear to God, it's not. And you realize the reason they're being so nice to you is because they know you're a foreigner, which means you're being watched, which means they're being watched.
Yeah. The people being nice to you are the KGB.
Yeah, or that too, which is more often than not. Now, when we were at the camp, I had no idea if the camp was run by the KGB or not, but everybody there was also nice to me, and it was funny because the machine
at the camp was it who was at the camp? Was it like Russian kids, or was it?
It was 16 kids? Russian girls aged 16 to 18.
Oh, Epstein Island.
Yes, and again, at the time, I didn't think anything of it. But now,
did you check the bug in your room, the cameras?
I didn't bother. I didn't bother. I think.
Did you indulge?
I did. No, I did not indulge. I flirted with, well, basically every girl I could find there, but that was as far as it went with any of them. I was supposed to room with one of them, and the lady in charge, the translator, wasn't as good. She was just like, "Yeah, he's getting too friendly with the women. We're going to just swap him out, and he's going to room with one of the guys." I was like, "Why?" I have some self-control, baby.
I know, but the way you say it, it sounds like it was a setup.
I don't know whether it was or what. It wouldn't be beyond, because that's sort of my point of the any American going to the Soviet Union at any time was going to be, their presence was going to be made aware to the KGB at least a week before they showed up. The KGB was going to have a full file on who they were. And if there was any chance that in the future they could become somebody of some influence, the KGB was going to start trying to figure out.
They haven't seen your channel. You hadn't set it up yet.
Okay, where's the button? No, I'm going to figure out how to fix it. All right, everyone say bye to Dunk, you son of a.
You just close yourself down.
Fucking Sage is still pissed at me. Okay, fine.
Yeah, but no. But you could have been.
Well, no. I mean, look at who we get for guests. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
I asked for Yoda, and look who I got. I mean, I called up George Lucas. I said, "Can you get me Yoda?" He's like, "On your channel, really?"
Yeah. On your bucks. Send me some rupees.
So we do have some breaking news, and so let me get to this. We didn't cover it on the other show for a couple of reasons. I wanted some time to read it and make sure I understood it before we went with it. And also, it is more bad news. Now, it's not terrible news, but it's news that is we have to make our audience aware of, and Titan is keeping me honest about doing that, so I appreciate that for Titan. Excuse me for reminding me, because it is worth noting. I do need to get.
You're gonna have to send him a bribe.
Hold on one second. Apologies. I always have this. Got to get around that. There we go. Okay. I never know what to bribe Titan. I've tried multiple things, and every time I do, I get various levels of laughter. Which really, to tell you the truth, there's two things really that hurt a guy. One is seeing the size of his junk and laughing. Two, seeing the size of his bribe and laughing. And
I look at the size of my junk and I still laugh.
So there is a report. We put it on our, I think it's in our breaking news, not in our news section. There is a largest solar radiation storm in at least 20 years. So it is an imminent G4 geomagnetic storm. G5 would be the most severe. Now, it's the largest that we've seen in a very long time. We are expecting in the United States problems, especially with GPS, problems with cell phones, internet, and possibly power grids. So that does mean places in the U.S. could lose power. it's possible significant amounts of places in the U.S. could lose power. I don't think anyone's expecting that, but having said that, it is a large storm. The space station actually has a separate area that is sequestered, that has extra shielding just in that area for just such an occasion, and they have already moved into that area and have repositioned the space station so that its most vital components are facing away from the storm and have to pass through all of the shielding of the station to get to those components. But that's how seriously they're taking it. Cheyenne Mountain, that is NORAD, is already presumably shielded from these kinds of things, and
but it isn't a big bloody mountain, so it should be all right.
Yeah, well, do you know how far away we are from the sun, and we still get? I mean, I don't know, but it's a significant storm. So it's not it doesn't appear by any stretch of the imagination to be the doomsday sun flare that people talk about. The U.S.
God, I wish it was.
Yeah, hey, Trump's not your president.
Wouldn't that we change things? That's all we were worried about.
But to tell you the truth, that's about the only way things could get worse at this point. And I shouldn't have just said that. And I am going to be so chastised by Titan, Dorito, my mother, and everybody who watches this show for saying that. So apologies for tempting fate. So I'm going to read real quick from CNN. Again, we've got this on our Discord. We do breaking news on this show quite regularly. We're not going to do a separate breaking news on this. If we weren't doing this show, this Fireside Chat, we'd do it. The Fireside Chat was really important. And by the way, Dunk, thank you so much for joining and making this so much fun. This has been a blast, and I think this is what everybody needed.
Yeah, so. It's been a hoot. It's been an absolute hoot. And I behaved myself.
And we're still that's the part that I'm not entirely sure you're Dunk, but having said that, we're not done yet. We're going to start winding down in a little bit, and we're not stopping just for this, but I'm letting you know why we're breaking for this. This is
yeah.
We'd be doing breaking news. So
get on.
All right. Can I? Are you going to let me? Are you going to let me?
Get on with it.
Jesus. They are expecting, a dazzling Oriole displays in unexpected areas Monday evening into early Tuesday morning. That's actually sooner than I had thought. So Titan's sense of urgency is understood a bit more. And again, thank you, Titan.
It only takes like 9 minutes. Is it
8 minutes?
8 minutes. 8 minutes, 9 minutes, from the sun to... Yeah.
Yeah, but the flare appears to have already, so it's already, the radiation storm ranked 4 out of 5 on a severity scale, is being tracked by the National Weather Service's Space Weather Prediction Center. That sounds like something Trump made up, but okay. Let's see, a S4 severe radiation storm is now in progress. This is the largest radiation storm in over 20 years. The last time these levels were observed was October 2003. Now, one of the reasons that's important is because we have a lot more technology that is particularly vulnerable than then. So back then, the damage it could have done would have been a lot smaller, and we wouldn't even need to have worried about it as much as we may now.
Yeah. Sorry, Nick. Can I just ask you very briefly? When was this reported? What time?
That's a really good question. This was updated, it says 10 minutes ago. I don't know when the actual report. Let me see if I can get to the report.
Already hit.
It looks like it's striking now, which is why Titan is sitting there going, "Why do you think I've been trying to get you to post this, you knucklehead?" And it is banging his head on the desk right now.
Yeah, that was a science thing. I mean, listen. Okay, in the UK, it's dark here. We're protected from that. Where it's how it works on the globe, sort of thing. I don't know what time it is there. If you're still in daylight, you might still be protected.
I don't know. I don't know how much of it can pass through the Earth or can't. Let's see. During the last one we had of any significance was May 2024. John Deere reported. John Deere, being the tractor company, reported that a number of GPS systems went out, especially ones required for farming. But for the most part, power grids and satellite operations in orbit kept operating. But we are going to be seeing a lot of auras. So those of you who like to see that stuff in the sky can go see that. We are anticipating disruptions. There's going to be disruptions of GPS. There's going to be disruptions of power. There's going to be disruptions of cell phone usage. We don't know how severe or where. Again, this is a category 4 out of 5. So we'll see some effects. We don't know what. It's not worth panicking about, but it is absolutely worth being informed about and just being aware of. So
it's going to be satellites that are going to be affected. It's going to be places like well, let's face it, at this time it's going to be places like Australia, Asia, Japan, places that they're going to take the full force of it. Hey, I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
I don't. Which is one reason why I wanted to read it and go. Okay, says Steve Burns' channel reported this about 8 hours ago, so it's been around for at least. Well, like I said, Titan gave it to me at least 8 hours ago. But it was at the end of a show that was already, in my view, pretty dark, and I wanted to read it to make sure I didn't. So I did then promptly forget about it, which Titan obviously surmised because he's like, excuse me. I hate being predictable. Anyways,
there's a great short story called "Inconstant Moon," where basically this guy and this girl, they meet up and they're just like, spend some time together, and they're looking out and go, oh, isn't the moon really, really bright? And what they realize, developing in their mind is what they realize is what's happening is you having this massive solar storm that's hitting the Earth, and they're on the good side of the planet. So they're in darkness, and the moon is getting incredibly bright. And but on the other side of the planet, it's just like mayhem. Tidal forces are all just like all screwed up. It's great. It's a great short story, but I do think about things like this.
Well, listen, I cover Trump. I think about things like this all the time. Oh, grant me the sweet relief of the moon landing on my head.
Yes, yeah. Oh, it's a meteorite strike. It was there's a massive asteroid is going to hit the planet, and thank God for that. Peace and quiet.
So my understanding, because there was a question, my understanding is that this is going to be roughly 48 hours. The storm reached Earth 2:20 p.m. Eastern Time and is expected to stay through Tuesday night, is what I'm reading. This is off of CNN. We've got this article in the news section if anybody wants to check it out. So let me see. I want to make sure
it's Biden's fault. It's Biden's fault.
It's Biden. Yeah. So Biden really.
Yeah. Obama. Yeah.
So
blame Obama and Biden.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. And I think Titan just posted NOAA government phenomenon. Let me just take a look and see what he posted. Geomagnetic storms, perfect. All right, thank you. Space Weather Prediction Center, Space Force. I still can't believe what
Space Force.
Oh,
it sounds like a 1980s children's animated series.
Space 1990.
Space Force.
Oh my God! I was gonna sit here. I was thinking about, because when you came on, I was just like, do I have to apologize to you on behalf of my country for what it's doing to the rest of the planet? And then I realized that's a really stupid thing to say, because if I apologize every time we do something dumb, it's gonna be a long year.
You do not have to apologize. The American people.
The whole people.
Apologize. Huh? There's only one person that needs to apologize, and that's that fucking orange Gibbon in the White House.
And anybody who voted for him. And on one end, I will say this. I know there are people who voted for him who didn't expect this, but if you didn't expect this, then you were uninformed.
Everybody was uninformed.
Well, yeah.
Nobody had a clue.
Well, okay, nobody had a clue about Greenland. I'll grant you that. But I mean,
yeah,
that's true. But I mean, he was not qualified to be president. And the other thing that I find it interesting. He wasn't
qualified to do a TV show, The Apprentice. I mean, if Donald Trump was a contestant on the Apprentice, he'd have been fired on day one.
Yeah. No, he'd have actually gone through, because what I noticed on The Apprentice was that the people who got things wrong seemed to be the ones who, and I don't know if it's the editing. I don't know. And like I said, I didn't follow it. So, but usually
I didn't follow the US
you flip through,
version,
you see somebody screw something up, and then somebody else is like, and they're all bickering, and then he has to make a decision. And he always goes with the second worst person, not the worst person. I was like, okay, well, of course, because it makes good television to keep the worst person around. I mean, look, Gary Busey survived however many rounds. So did Meatloaf. I mean, give me a break. So, oh God, I remember. All I remember from the Celebrity Apprentice was I think this was on their trailer. I was just flipping through, and Gary Busey was trying to negotiate with a steak company for Trump steaks, and he's like, "How many flavors of steak do you have?" And the lady's like, "Excuse me?"
Yeah.
Oh, flavors of steak. We just have steak.
Albatross. What flavor is it?
It's gonna make another really bad joke, but oh my God. So Trump really does think like a businessman, a bad businessman, but a businessman, in as much as he really does seem to think that everything's for sale. It hasn't crossed his mind that there's some things you cannot negotiate. And it makes me actually even think more about Melania, just because I'm like, even his wife was purchased. I mean...
Oh, wow, yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Which means to some extent
Holy
his kids
cow.
were bought. He bought a family. And so it's just like there's nothing, even love isn't a thing. There's just commodities. And it's one of the reasons I think he really does. He seems, and it would be.
We should remake the Waltons, but with the Trump family, and see how that works out.
Closer to the Addams family, but yeah. Would all find it funny, except would be like, no, it's not a joke. This is really what they're like. There has been. It wouldn't shock me. The hypothesis that Melania is an agent for the KGB, Putin sent her over, or agent for the FSB. I've been so used to talking about the Soviet Union, now I'm talking about Russia.
I think she's an agent for a different fucking planet. She's just here to observe.
So I would love
information back to the home planet.
I would love to see her reviews going back to like, I thought at first, sir, that they were all orange, but it turns out it's only this one.
You hear about her movie? It cost $300 million. I mean, there are very, very few movies made in Hollywood that cost $300 million, and usually because it's got a shitloads of visual effects. Now, this movie was made for $300 million, and it's where did it go? Was it Amazon or Netflix? I can't remember, but it's bombing.
I'm not sure if it's so what I'm going to do real quick, see if I can find. I had a second ago the reviews for.
They're not going to be good.
Well, just wait. Let me just don't give me a hard time until I can find these reviews. damn it, I had them a second ago, and now, of course, I can't. Oh, you know what? They might be.
They spent less on Star Trek, Starfleet Academy, and that bombed.
Oh god! Oh, that Academy. I saw clips from that Academy show. Oh my god.
He's terrible.
Yeah. I don't. I don't know what's happening in the world.
I know.
Everything. When Star Trek starts getting, I am really disappointed that I cannot find. Oh, I think I had no. I cannot find the reviews. I'm going to make one more shot at finding the reviews for the Melania. Oh, there you go. I found them. Oh, here we go. All right, let me just see if I can get that in here real quick. It's going to take a minute. Here we go. And well, the reviews are so important. I don't bother going to a movie until I've read the reviews and decided whether or not I think other people like them. So let's just see what the reviews are for the Melania movie. I'll just post them right up here.
Yes, I've seen this one.
Let's see, like being taken hostage by the Taliban.
Just the first line. Just if syphilis were a movie.
If Epstein really did kill himself, watching this film may have been why. Oh, wow. Wow. Okay, so clearly people don't like this movie. I've seen the trailers for it, and I'm just like, who the hell would watch this?
Well, the other thing was there was a Trump movie that seems to have got buried that came out recently. There was a movie about Trump, and I don't even know where that went. It just disappeared, and Trump hated it, obviously, because it kind of like, it was a bit too truthful. And don't see it anyway. And I think it cost like a fraction of the amount of money than this movie did.
I don't know what's up with the Melania movie. I don't know who was bribed how much in order to make them. And I think that's the one thing I do know, which is just interesting. Again, speaking of, Melania is not as stupid as she looks either. Apparently, she wants out, and she's wanted out for a very long time. I know she's subtle about it, the way she slaps his hand away every time he tries to hold.
Out of marriage or out of the US?
Probably both. But she, my understanding is that she renegotiated the prenup when he ran for the latest term, and said she would not divorce him during that period of time, but she would get half and yada, 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 which the prenup had precluded previously. So all of a sudden now she's basically just like most of the people tethered to Trump. She's tied to him out of necessity for some period of time before she gets her payout and goes. And it's just a weird... And it's the same way as I see anybody who... I mean, they're... Invariably, I suspect, like, Christine Dome is about to get thrown under the bus. Pam Bonnie's going to get thrown under the bus after that. And the first one thrown out under the bus, in hindsight, really should have been most predictable because she was the furthest out in the circle, and it's going to go in. The first one was Marjorie Taylor Greene, who had an issue that she cared about, had an issue that was actually important, and was told no. And she's like, well, wait a minute, aren't we a team for, and because she went against and decided, now she, there's no way she's ever having a political career ever again. So, and he's going to have to keep doing that to people because he keeps getting his ass in trouble. And there's no way, especially if he invades Greenland, he's going to have to blame somebody. So.
Biden.
Yeah, he's going to blame Biden. What was the? I'm getting tired, and we're going to need to wrap this up soon anyway. The point was that everything's transactional with the people around him, and even Kash Patel, who had his entire head so far up Trump's ass. It's just the Queen Hillary as the evil queen. These fairy tale kids' children's books with King Trump and everything. It's like scary. Kash Patel is a sycophant to the point where even if you like sycophants, you should say, I don't want him anywhere, because he's the kind of guy who's going to be like, if I can't have you, nobody will, and just stabs and kills both. I mean, that's Patel. And even he's lost some of that luster, you can tell. And it's probably because he's been going through the Epstein files and he realizes he's got a really big problem because his entire fan base was built on the idea that he's going to reveal the Epstein files. So one by one, there's going to be a reckoning for all of them. That reckoning probably isn't going to be equivalent to the damage they've done, but there's going to be a reckoning.
No, you're right there.
And Melania knows that's coming too, and she's got a golden parachute, and she's got it ready to bail as soon as he's done. She's out of there, and my suspicion on his health is he's not going to make it through the term. I think his health is failing rapidly.
Yeah, do you think she's just hanging on because she could leave him and there'll be like a prenup, and she only gets like so much percent, or she's just waiting for him to just like drop dead and she gets the lot.
The original prenup was she gets nothing. She negotiated purportedly a new prenup where she said she would not leave him before or even after. This was before the election. She was ready to leave him. It was how it was reported. This was the understanding. I forget who was the reporter who did it, but he's an insider who's reported accurately on Trump before. She was ready to leave him. And it was they weren't even talking to each other. It was their negotiators talking to each other. And they negotiated a deal where they said she would get a huge payout in the prenup. Currently, her prenup was zero. She's left with nothing.
Wow.
She would get a huge amount of money on a prenup if she did not leave him until after his second term. And she didn't threaten to. She did nothing to disrupt. And you could, she was finding subtle ways to undermine him and make him look bad in public. Again, the hand slapping, a whole bunch of others. She hasn't done any of that. And the reason is the prenup basically said, you support him, you be there, you don't do anything to disrupt the agenda. You don't have to be, she doesn't have to be in the same bed with him or any of that shit. And the deal is, after that, she can divorce him and she gets roughly half. And so she renegotiated the prenup, and that's where she is now. That's why when you see pictures of her, she's a hostage.
They must love each other so much.
Oh, God, can you imagine the family at a holiday?
It's the definition of love.
Oh,
Jesus
my God.
Christ. So she doesn't even get a fucking 747 Qatari jet.
Or the pilot. Oh, that was a bad joke. That was a really bad joke. I should not have apologies. I should not have made that one.
That's a good joke. It's a good joke.
So, anyways, we did this just to, and we used to do these, once a week. I don't know that hey, listen, if you guys join us on the Discord, you can tell us what you want to see more of. I'm on the Discord quite regularly. More importantly, Dunk is never on the Discord. So come on in and join.
I haven't even signed up to it. I hate Discord.
You are on the Discord because I've tagged you from our Discord every now and then to give you a hard time.
Only on the Shills one because I do the Shills one, but I'm barely in that. I promise you, I will join your Discord. So someone puts a link into it so I can find it.
We'll drop. So
this has been an absolute hoot. I've enjoyed tonight. It's been great.
It has been. I hope you'll come back. And we do have guests on downtime. It's just Lance and I haven't done it in a while. It's just been Lance and I. I think Lance and I are just, by the time we get to the end of the week, we're so fucking exhausted. We'll talk to each other, but it's like, What? Obama wants to come? Screw Obama. I'm not fucking interviewing him.
You were talking about on your show previously, your previous show, and you're saying, right, I'm going to start doing a show every night. And it's so funny because I was talking to Dick the same thing the other day. He says, we could be doing a show every single night. Because, and even then, that's still not fast enough for the news. You know?
I know, Jesus, I know.
Yeah. And I was saying to him, yeah, we could do it. Do I want to do it? No. Fuck off. So you going into this like new idea of a regime where you're doing a show every single night, it's gonna kill you. It's too exhausting.
Listen, we've done it before. Listen, the Black Lives Matter we covered. And we covered, the average show was between 8 and 11 hours long. We covered Rittenhouse live. We didn't know at the time what we were covering, but we covered as they were chasing Rittenhouse down Kenosha. We've done it before now. Admittedly, I'm a little older. So
you covered the Germans burning down the Reichstag.
Yeah, exactly. That's in time. Was there when
the long knives.
Yeah, exactly.
Nick was on the street like Mikado Media.
We were there as Brutus plunged the dagger into.
Too brute.
Yeah.
It's mad. It's madness. I got a lot of respect for you. It is absolute madness that we're kind of like having to do this because me and Dick doing we used to do the 42 shows and stuff like that. It's like at the end of the week, you cover stuff that's happened in the week, and it's hilarious. But these days it's just not fast enough.
We had three.
Even the mainstream media can't fucking keep up.
We had 3 breakings during tonight's show. The first was Iran, which I'd forgot to cover previously, but I forget the organization. I've got it written down. My whole screen went down, but the official numbers on Iran came out for how many deaths they had. So that happened while we were doing a news show. Yeah. And that's newsworthy because those are protesters trying to overthrow the regime of Iran. So those come out while I'm doing the show. Titan comes out with the electromagnetic storm and E4 electromagnetic storm during the show. And this just comes into, and then I forget what the third one was.
That was nobody's fault, not even the Romans.
Well, we used to blame Canada for everything. So we actually have a code of ethics for in time. We have a code for the mods. But on the original founding document that was sort of our mission statement, it includes that if any error is made on the show, especially a technical error or anything like that, it can never be the fault of any host or co-host. It must necessarily be the fault of the nearest available and plausible Canadian. This is written down. So this is why Dick's got to stick around. And then after that, one of our very first co-hosts had a top hat, and so it's like. Then if there's no Canadians around, then it's anybody wearing a hat. And then last was anybody in a beard. Oh
shit!
Yeah.
So sorry, I'm shaved. I'm all right. Hey, but you're wearing a beard.
You're not even in the species, so we'll just say anyone who's. I mean. That qualifies as no. I'm not even gonna. There are jokes I'm trying not to make that are absolutely funny. My Canadian friends have a great sense of humor, and I want to make fun of Canada. But the reality is, they're really pissed at the U.S. And it's just sort of like, well, we think you should be the 51st state. I wonder why you're pissed at us.
No. We're not pissed at the U.S. We're pissed at the regime.
Well, I appreciate you.
Let's make this absolutely clear, because we are not pissed off with the US. We are not pissed off with the people in the US. Apart from the MAGA crowd, they can fuck off. But even then, not pissed off with them. What we're pissed off with is the tyrannical regime that is trying to turn America into an authoritarian state. and then just claim the rest of the world is theirs because they want it. Yeah, that's for me. That's where
I sincerely appreciate the distinction, and it's that kind of, watching the EU's response to this has been. I said this earlier. Has been beautiful, because it's like I get so frustrated. I was just like, if I was the EU, I'd sit there and say, yeah, we're going to tariff you twice as much as you tariff us, and we're going to cut off all the patents right now, and they're like, no, we're going to negotiate, and I'm just sitting there going, they have more patience than I do, and thank God, because it's people with patience that get things done. I'm the one who ruins things by going, let's just do it. I'm the reactionary. Yeah. That's basically my position right now. Well, thank you very much I think that's an excellent note to end on. Thank you to everybody who gave a super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you to all the mods. Thank you to Titan for getting on me about the solar storm. And I do want to one last time say that for those of you just joining us, the sun is in the process of releasing the largest solar radiation storm in over 20 years. It is
it's pissed. It's pissed.
It's so pissed at Trump. It's bombarding the planet. And there are
tariffs. His sun tariffs.
His sun tariffs. He's sitting there going like, if you're going to shine, this is what we're going to need from you. It's been, there are expected in the United States difficulties and outages in GPS, cell phone service, and possibly electrical grid service in the U.S. We have prepared for this kind of thing. Our electrical grid is not as modern as it could be. You can actually modernize a grid to be much more resistant to this kind of thing. But certain Trumpian presidents, among others, he's not the only one, but most recently have just decided that infrastructure doesn't need to be. Anyways, I'm not holding a grudge.
Make sure you wrap up your wife's dildos in very, very thick foil. Otherwise, the EMP is going to take it out, and she'll be angry.
Okay, I was not expecting the show to suddenly go there. See, this is what happens when you get done.
I did say I was going to behave myself, and I just let myself go.
No, I'm delighted there was one. We can end on everyone on the show's like, what did he just say? So
sorry.
Admittedly, I can understand. I can understand there being complications too. I've never made a device like that, so I don't know if wrapping it in tinfoil is going to work. I think this is the kind of discussion you should have with your doctor, not with some guy on YouTube. I'm just saying. Yeah, a lot of people come at the U.S. for its grid, but everything notwithstanding, be aware of that, and it is important. We don't. There's no way to fully predict the effects of this, except to say that there's probably going to be some satellite outages, GPS outages, and phone outages. Again, this is an S4 instead of an S5, so it's not the biggest. But it's the biggest in 20 years, and the technology's changed a lot in 20 years. So, it's important that you're aware of it. You can learn more about it on our Discord. And Dunk, I'm really glad you came in. Thank you so much for joining us. And
it's been a lot of fun.
Yes, sir. All right, so we will see you all tomorrow. Theo from Dictators versus Democrats, who is also in the UK, will be joining us. And talking about, he worked as a police officer in human trafficking, and he's going to talk about what he's been seeing ICE doing. But he's also going to talk about European perspectives on the U.S. right now, which Dunk has already given us a preview of, and is as generous as one could possibly hope for. So thank you all.
To see what his take is.
It will be. That'll be 3 p.m. tomorrow, and my suspicion is we will be doing a rundown at 8 p.m. tomorrow as well, because 3 p.m. is not going to be time to do the news for tomorrow. And yes, by the way, what we had said earlier, I wanted to reiterate too, which is we now have the first signs of at least people not in the mainstream media is still reporting that the 11th Airborne is headed to Minneapolis once it is ready. Commander told us it's actually going to take them a good number of more days to be ready. We're going to get clarification on when he thinks they may be ready after that. But the general thinking that I've seen from people with military experience is that the 11th is not going to be deployed in Minneapolis. It's an Arctic warfare group. It's going to be deployed to Greenland. And that Trump has already made the decision, and he's going to pull the trigger on it once they're ready. So we will have more for you on that later in the week with Commander McMillan on Thursday. Thank you again for joining us. Thank you, Dunk, and we will see you tomorrow.
Good nighty nighty. Stay shitty.